good evening, and welcome to Telling Tales. Here we tell atmospheric stories together through the medium of tabletop role-playing games. It's Monday night, which means we are playing Vaesen, Mythic Britain and Ireland. This is our last actual play stream of the year, not our last stream of the year, which I'll come to shortly. And our last Vaesen stream for a while, but we'll go more into that in a while as well. Let's do some promo stuff. So there are links below the video to our YouTube if you're watching on Twitch, or our Twitch if you're watching on YouTube, our social media, our Discord, which you should join and come and chat with us and the other lovely people involved in the channel, and also our Patreon, where if you enjoy what we do, you can support us there and get things in return. So yes, this is our last actual play stream of the year. On Wednesday, there is going to be a channel-wide roundtable chat about lots of things. If you join on the Discord, you can, or on social media, you can let us know if there's anything that you would like for us to discuss. And one of the things that we are also going to discuss is a poll which we currently have going on about what things we are going to run next year, which will appear in the chat momentarily. So where that is currently at will be gone over on the stream on Wednesday. But back in the new year, we will be returning to Warhammer on a Monday night, which Sam, who is on this stream, runs. The previous series, it was quite short. I think it was 13 episodes. I think quite pointedly it was 13 episodes. Is all on YouTube. And then on alternating Thursdays will be Wicked Ones and Big Wet. And Simbaroom on Wednesdays, as ever. And then, once a month, roughly, one-shot adventures on a weekend of differing things. I think that covered everything there. Please do vote on the poll for what you would like to see us play next year, because we are having discussions at the moment of what we're going to do. But yeah, this is going to be the last Vaesen for a while. We will almost certainly return to it in future, but I think we've done it for this entire year pretty much. We're going to go on to Warhammer for a bit and return to it later. So far in the game, there's been the whole plot, but this part, Rupert and Eleanor, the people who are kind of the bosses of the characters, investigators, were missing, presumed dead on a ferry ride from Sweden. In the previous episode, we found out that they have not died. Rupert was not in a good way, but B managed to help him out with that. So the plot, as they understand it, is that the lighthouse owner here, Daniel Armstrong, has a bit of a Vaesen love triangle with a mermaid and a Selkie. The mermaid has basically decided that it wants to have Daniel in its thrall under the sea, presumably, and he doesn't want that. And that is why the mermaid basically lost control of its sort of faculties and was causing storms and terror on the high seas, which is what caused the storm that blew and destroyed the ferry that they were on. The group believed that if Daniel were to be married, this is from a folklore story, if Daniel were to be married, then the mermaid would see evidence of this, then it would lose interest. So the sort of working theory was that they were going to go to this area, a sort of ruin of a church that they believe is still there, that was most likely set up by St. Cuthbert, and try and marry Elizabeth and Daniel. But on their way there, they've been sort of surrounded by these shadowy figures, one of whom had previously knocked on the door of the lighthouse, and Henry believes him to be somebody that, as far as he's aware, he saw drown in a vision. And that is where we left it. They were surrounded by these shadowy figures. I haven't given an order for who's going to come on when, but let's bring on Steve first, and he can talk about Henry realizing that this person is somebody he recognizes. Well, not even recognizes. It's more like just an internal knowledge, because you didn't ever see his face in the vision, because you were seeing through his eyes. So it's this kind of, this sort of understanding that this is this person without you visually realizing it.
Yeah, it's the whole sort of psychic thing is interesting. Henry's very new to it, so it's taking some time to get to grips with. Henry is a detective, is now seemingly a psychic detective, angling for a spin-off series. And yes, he's been dragged across the sea to this very wet location and is now not having a great deal of fun. Surrounded by, the one bright point is that he did kind of think that Samuel Taylor was dead. So, the bright point to take away from all of this is that we're surrounded by quite a lot of them. So, maybe if we can break this sort of trance, perhaps we'll be able to save loads of people. That might happen.
Silver linings and all that. Thanks, Steve. Let's bring on John, who plays B. Hey, John.
Hello. There.
How's B feeling right now?
She was probably feeling a fair bit better before a bunch of people rose out of the ocean to presumably threaten them. Yeah, I think she's generally not really happy with the current situation, partly for personal reasons and partly just because it's been a very stressful day and it's not going to get any easier.
Cool. Thank you. Let's bring on Justin, who plays Gale Mosling Forcemark. Hey, Justin.
How's it going?
How's it going for Gale?
I would say challenging, but we've made it this far, and I think that bodes well. Probably make it a little bit further, at least. I got John, obviously. Sorry for that, John. Could be worse. Could always be worse.
You could already be dead.
Or worse.
I like how Gale is confident that he's not going to immediately die, but he's also not sure he's going to last to the end of the day.
It's just going to take some time.
Cool. Let's bring on Inga, who plays Sister Constance Kirk. Hey, Inga.
Hello.
How's Constance doing?
Just about as happy as everybody else, really. She is literally angry in terms of conditions from last session. And, there's been a lot of questioning, her position on, marriage with Vaesen and this sort of thing. And, we don't have time for this nonsense. And there's now mermaids approach. It's all very scary. It's a bit of a tricky situation, is it not? Yep.
Great. Let's bring on Sam, who plays Hux.
We're so fucked. Oh gosh, I mean that's pretty much I think Hux's perspective too. He's just planning on going out swinging at this point. I also love that Steve apparently found the idea that we saw, well, Henry Bonneville saw people drown, and the fact that they are now here is a positive thing. To me,
Well,
that seems like a really bad, terrifying thing.
I mean, I didn't see them drown necessarily. I just,
Okay, implied drowning, and then
I mean, we'll find out
handing him
very
medicine
shortly.
doesn't reassure me.
Cool. So that's how things lie. We'll cut in immediately after last session ended. So this group have essentially surrounded you at a bit of a distance, and this one man, Samuel Taylor, has stepped forward and said, "Tonight, then," which is how he left things at the door of the lighthouse, also with Daniel Longstone.
Can I see, like, looking at Samuel, what does he look like? Does he, are there, how, on the scale of 0 to fishy, how, where are we on that continuum? Has he got gills? Does he look human?
No, he does look human. He looks sort of pallid and like visibly wet, so much as you would if you would just come out of the water. Sort of a few little sort of visible drips as it's come out of his hair and drip down his face, kind of thing. And but yeah,
Sexy.
he doesn't have any fish-like features as of yet. He looks entirely human,
Right.
but pale and damp.
Like undead human, pale and damp? Or,
Yeah, is it
or
unsettling?
whatever
Unnatural, or
state
is it
of-
just a bit pale?
yeah.
He's just wet, guys. He's just a bit wet.
I mean,
So
dark
the
and
thing
everything
the
in
thing
there,
is,
so-
it is dark, but he is lit by your lantern, so you can see him quite clearly. But the thing is that your working theory on this is that he has been under the water, right? And you're not sure what effect on the immediate complexion of somebody being underwater for hours or days but not being dead. There's some kind, if that's what's
Pruny.
happened,
You're
there's
gonna
some
get
kind of
pruny,
magical
aren't you?
thing. But
Yeah.
if he's been there for 3 days, for example, maybe his skin would have paled because he'll have got cold. But if he's being kept alive by some magical means, you could think he looks undead, but maybe he isn't, and he's just cold.
I guess Henry's kind of trying to, like, maybe Henry has seen some, some bodies that might have been found in water, lakes or rivers or whatever.
Yeah, that's
So
bad, doesn't it?
that's kind of going through my mind. I think I will say Samuel Taylor. Can you remember what happened before the shipwreck?
He looks visibly confused at you knowing who he is. And yes, of course I can.
And
I'm cheating slightly because you kind of all made vigilance rolls in this scene before, but it's a new week, so can you make vigilance rolls, please? Thank you.
Giving people extra rolls is that's not cheating, is it? Unless we all did really well last time, and now you want us to fail. I mean, that would be. My vigilance is 4 on top of logic 5.
I guess you're going to answer this as part of the vigilance roll, but could you also give us a quick reminder of exactly how many and what they look like vaguely around us as part of this check, because I'm trying to remember where we are.
I heard that, Sam. You're not. It's fine.
Yeah,
Is that what Jonny
I gave a
nodded?
thumbs
I'm all
up. I
good.
gave,
All right.
yeah.
I thought we were waiting for everyone else's results.
Yes, I was waiting for the rolls. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got one success.
Okay.
Also one.
Justin.
Got a big old duck egg.
Okay. Was it Sam or Inga that got 2? One of you got 2, did Sam? Okay. So there are, including Samuel Taylor, there are 13 total. And you're all pretty certain that they've moved slightly closer in the last sort of 30 seconds while this exchange has been going on. Sam, Hooks, you're kind of the foremost, holding the lantern. And whether it's that or, you're used to kind of being out and about at night a bit more than everybody else, but you think you can see the silhouetted outline of the church. Maybe 100 meters in front of you.
Okay. Do they all look human? They all look like they're just people from the shipwreck.
They're too. Shape-wise, yes. Yeah. They're too far away for you to be able to make out any detail on them currently.
Just to remind us, the one that came to the door earlier to talk to us, that one wasn't human, right? I'm trying to remember.
Oh, it's Samuel Taylor.
That was Samuel. Oh, sorry. Okay. So we haven't met any. We haven't met any that we would assume is a mer person. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Oh, I can see the church 100 meters away. You said. Are any of them brandishing weapons or looking threatening, or are they all just standing there in the rain?
Just sort of looming.
Okay. What sort of distance are we talking from us?
Let's say from you, they are sort of 20 meters from your group.
Okay. And Samuel's the only one who's directly between us.
He's stepped forwards between you, so but yeah, I mean they're only a few meters apart from each other in this circle surrounding you, so there's no big gap for you to.
I know what Hux is thinking of doing.
I lean over to Elizabeth and say, "Steel or lead?"
For these, doesn't matter.
I think Hux probably won't have waited much more and will have seized the chance before they get closer to us and will just yell, "Run!" and just sprint straight towards Samuel with the intention of getting to that church as quick as possible because they're going to try and stop us.
I'm very confident in this.
Here we go.
That, I will raise my rifle.
I'm hooking everyone else follows as quick as possible.
Everybody's running, and are you running straight towards where Hux is going, or are you like splitting out? So I will just say that Hux has seen the church. Nobody else knows that that's where he's going.
I'm gonna. Can I make a roll to see if I realize other people won't have seen it? Because I might be too quick, or I might be like this way to the church.
I think following Hux. Who has the lights? That's a very big part of
Hux.
I'm definitely following.
Hux has the lights. Hux is speedy, and he's the one who said run. I think it makes sense that we wouldn't try and run ahead randomly in some other direction away from it.
I also rolled a 6. I also rolled a 6, so I'm going to say Hux. Hux within a moment. I'm going to say Hux within a moment also goes the church this way. I rolled.
Shut up! What a ridiculous metagame. That's below you, Sam.
Hey! I wouldn't have done it if I didn't roll a 6.
Okay. Can everybody make me agility rolls, please?
Yes.
Fantastic.
How much is Bee brandishing her gun? Like, how obvious is it that she's like, is she like, just off and running, or is she kind of also fiddling with the gun kind of thing? Because in short, like Constance is not a sprinter. She's never run so far in all of this, and while she might make her way over there, I think she's likely to be the slowest anyway. But also, like, in short, like I would be more like worried that there's about potential action. Yeah.
Well, first of all, we are running with the captain who does have an injured leg. So if we're
Yeah.
running, we also need to remember that. As far as what Bee's doing, she has lightning reflexes. So I am, which basically means I can draw my weapon as a free action. So effectively, Bee already has her rifle to her shoulder. And I was about to ask Jonny if I could, instead of immediately running, shoot at whoever is standing in front of where Hux is running to open the path, and then follow up the rear.
So in that instead of running, can I try and ensure I don't want B to shoot a person, and I was, before Huck shouted run, I literally, before Huck shouted run, you got there before I did, Sam. What I was gonna say was I wanted to lean over to B. I'm probably already leaned over to B to say warning shots only or something like that.
Lol.
Because we said last week as well, or whenever
very
the last session, that we had gunshots as like noise for the, because there's this like enchantment thing. If
it's any consolation, I was planning on running so we could avoid hitting them and hopefully just get to the church without having to beat these potentially living.
This is why I wanted to see what B was doing.
Can I just be very clear, Jonny, while we're all interrupting you when you're trying to talk, I am running.
Okay.
I'm happy with these guys can all die. I'm going to follow the guy with the lights, and I'm going to not die on this beach. That's my number one plan right now.
Right.
Well, there's a proclamation.
So Mosling and Hux are running.
I was looking up what the sprinter talent did, and it's +2 if you're trying to outrun or chase somebody down. I've never used it, but
this would count as outrunning, essentially. Yeah. Okay.
I suppose so. Yeah. If the light's going, if Hux has got the light, then
B is going to take a shot at somebody.
Yes. I'm going to take what Constance said under advisement and go for a non-lethal shot.
I'm happy for you to, you might well have got the shot out as I'm trying to say that to you, by the way. I'm happy, but in short, Constance is probably not runing.
Constance goes warning shot only as Samuel's head explodes in front of us.
As long as Constance doesn't throw herself in front of the gun and end up getting shot herself, that's...
She's not that altruistic or speedy, frankly. Again, she's not that hasty.
Let's resolve the shot first, if we can, John.
Yes. So
you aim the rifle. Constance nudges you. You shoot Hux.
So I have marksman, which is a +2 range combat for the first action of a combat. It's like the first shot, basically. So that's +2 +4 for my ranged, +5 for my precision. I need to dip into my other pool of dice. Oh, -1 because I am exhausted. 1 success.
Okay. So you're going for the leg?
Yeah.
So yeah, the way the group is, that they're a sort of evenly spaced group of 12 around the outside, and then Samuel Taylor has come forward, where Hux and Mosling and Bonneville and I'm going to say Elizabeth and Daniel as well are running is basically they're going to be going past him. So you get a shot in and it hits him in the leg and kind of clips him and he spins to the side and drops to the ground. So you three, can you make me agility rolls if you haven't already, please, for running?
1 success.
1 success, 1 success.
I guess I'll be pushing that.
Even with Sprinter. Ouch.
Yeah. Well, it's only 8 dice. I'm not sort of, track and field stuff.
Some kind of superstar sprinter.
Also, I kind of feel like it makes our running significantly less valuable when Constance is probably just going to walk behind us.
I will take the physical condition exhausted, but I did get 2 successes. So maybe I can help someone.
Right. So you are running, and you. What are you doing in terms of checking who else is coming with you and that kind of thing?
As I'm in the lead, my plan was to try and get past the circle / get past Samuel and then see where the others were.
Okay, so in that case, you set off first. So we'll say that you get out of the group first. You turn around and you can see Bonneville is making good pace towards you. Mosling is doing okay. Elizabeth and Daniel, it looks like Daniel may be tripped and Elizabeth is slowed, helping him up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think given Bonneville's kept pace, I would try and hand the lantern to Bonneville and say, that way, and I'll point towards the church. And then, knowing that I'm more likely to hit these people out of the way than others, go back, or at least wait to try and catch them, make sure they get out of the circle.
Okay.
What's Constance doing?
Can I get just maybe maybe not like go full over, but close and like take a step or two towards Samuel, like now that B's shot him, and see, and I guess generally the other people, but I guess especially Samuel, since he kind of took the bullet. If he looks like he's snapped out of anything or looks less wet, I don't know, more human somehow. I don't know. Seems to know,
Still
if
covered in
anything looks
liquid,
like
but it's
changed.
more red now.
Modern methodology for drying yourself after a shower. Shoot yourself.
No, he doesn't look to have changed particularly, apart from looking angry and in pain now.
That's quite disappointing. How is the captain doing? Where is he about? Did he?
He's waited with you. He's waited with you too.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I guess try and help with the others to get a lot of them. The other, Daniel and folks moving.
Okay, in that case, would you like to make either an agility or a force roll?
I will try force. I think I'm more shooing them along than anything else, but not. One success.
Okay. So you and Sam, did you say Hux was coming back or waiting?
If it looks like people haven't moved out, I guess a tiny bit of time has passed now, given the shot and everything else has happened. My split second would be, what are the thrall things doing? Are they going after them? Are they about to leap upon them? Or are they just standing there? Because that probably decides it as I look back.
They're moving inwards and kind of closing the circle.
Towards them in the circle.
But you do see Constance kind of lunge forward and help Daniel and Elizabeth to their feet, and they start making their way towards you. Also, you hear another bang as B basically from next to you, and the captain has pulled out some kind of firearm and taken a shot, but it goes off somewhere. You don't see anybody. You don't hear it make contact with anything.
I will maybe try and grab the captain then, if he's the one who's lagged most from the sound of it.
Well, he's not making any effort to move. He's kind of standing with B.
Yeah, I'll I guess I'll try and hurry both of them, but I assume B is more capable than the captain at moving at this point. So,
okay, I'm going to roll for the group. Okay. They seem to have basically decided that Bonneville is not of interest to them presently because he's outside the circle, and they basically closed the circle. You can't really like lunge past any of them now. You're going to have to move somebody out of the way. Samuel Taylor is kind of getting up off the floor now with one hand on his leg, like large blood stain on his trousers as he's standing. And he says, she's not going to be happy with you. We stop this. Let me take him, and everything's done.
What's he saying or doing? Is he just standing there stunned, Daniel?
Yeah, he and Elizabeth have kind of like holding each other and looking afraid.
You know he doesn't want to go.
Not my will.
Then stay out
Here
of
on the
it.
job. Well, can't really do that, I'm afraid.
I suppose the fact that they're betrothed isn't enough to put you off. Promised with rings and everything.
Until there's a ring on that wedding finger, doesn't matter. Come on. And he takes a step forwards towards Daniel.
Stay back.
What's Henry doing, Steve?
I don't know.
Getting on the rowing boat.
He still leaps around and
just
gone.
walking into the sea, I think, at this point. So, how close am I to the church? And
That's
who
up
is
to
where?
you. It
Right.
depends on what. So now everyone else is contained within
Christ.
the circle of 12.
Okay, so it was just me. So Magnus said run, and then handed me the lantern.
I thought maybe Gale would have got out because you did run with.
I ran and got a success.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
feel
In
like
that
Gale's
case,
no
you're
one
also
cares
out.
about that.
No, yeah. You're also out. Justin
Yeah.
Gale is.
'Cause I
Oh,
stopped
you'll
and Gale
probably
went
just be
past
taking
them.
photographs.
Yeah, Gale's taking a photo. That's so true.
Well, you need to take pictures of the wedding party.
Oh my god. Okay.
13 groomsmen.
There's not much point going to the church if you don't have a bride and groom. What? There's a limit to what one can do with. An
I
absence
am.
of both.
Mosling would be going to the church. That's if he
Okay.
Mosling's
Well, I'll
setting off
hand
in
you.
that
I'll hand
direction.
you the lantern, and you
Okay,
can get
I'll
set up
gladly
with you.
take it. Yeah.
And then I'll walk back. And I'll be wondering what to say. So carry on. I've given Mosling the and I'll walk back quietly and kind of listen for a moment.
Jonny, I feel like, a few of us are probably in this spot. I feel like I've definitely seen someone shot before. Is he acting like I would expect someone who's been shot to act?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, there's a blood stain on his trousers. He kind of limped up using the opposite arm to like lift himself up onto that leg, and yeah, seems reasonably normal behavior.
Okay. That bodes well.
Can we just slowly position ourselves so that Daniel is sort of in the middle of our mini stuff? Like, we're sort of between him and.
I would like to, if possible, not stand there in the middle and wait for them to move on us. So I'd like to move confidently forwards directly towards Samuel and try and make the others follow me. Like I'm just going to push him out of the way.
I'd follow along with that.
Yeah, Mike.
Making sure everyone is following
Daniel
me this time.
Yeah, link Daniel, and I don't know, might pull out my crucifix, just more for me than anything else, but ready.
Okay, he is stepping forward anyway, so the two of you kind of meet, I suppose.
You getting out my way? I'm going up there.
More of us than there are of you, I think.
I'm
And now
bigger than
you can see now that you're nearer to these people, even though you've not got your lantern anymore. You can see that they're a similar sort of, damp, pallid. You don't recognize any of them. Not that you necessarily would, but there's a mixture of men and women. And all just kind of staring.
But they all look human, and none of them look like they're having second thoughts after that gunshot or any. Yeah.
No, they seem completely unbothered by the gunshot. But yeah, they all look human.
I'm assuming, given we've had a moment now, they're all close enough that they're kind of within grabbing range.
Yeah, you would struggle to grab any of them other than Samuel Taylor without moving because he's directly in front of you.
Yeah.
They're all sort of, we'll say, 2 meters further back than him, and then that kind of distance around you as a group.
So there's an outside ring, and then
everyone else is
right.
Samuel Taylor's sort of within that with the rest of your group.
What sort of terrain are we on again? Sorry, Johnny. Is it like a narrow cliff path with steep slopes, or is it quite flat and open?
No, you're kind of on like the grassy open area here. So you can kind of make out where the edge is, which would be a bit of a cliff drop. It's not a huge drop, but it's certainly not like a beach into the sea kind of thing. But yeah, where you are is this kind of grassy plain.
Okay, and that drop is a bit of a distance away. It's not like I could trip somewhere.
A little bit, yeah. You'd have to move things in that direction to do that.
Can I, before we actually move forward again, take a sec to bless Daniel, and say something like, "May God bless your path to safety to the church." That is my blessed talent for this session.
Okay. Justin.
See?
Oh, you're on your own, aren't you?
Just how I like to be.
Nothing bad.
I've got them right where I want them, not near me. Cool.
Can you please
Absolutely.
make a
Cake. Vigilance? Observation? Investigation?
No, it's going to
Stealth.
be a logic roll, I think.
A logic. Do I not get to add anything to my logic? It's a fear roll, is it? Is that what we're saying? That's
No.
absolutely satanic that you've forced me into this situation. A base logic roll. Does like paper help? How about my book collection?
As you're walking to the church, you've spotted
Out of
a
my
crossword.
four dice, I rolled 1 success, proving once again the fewer dice you roll, the better.
Okay. You hear the sweetest song that you have ever heard.
Don't I have muffled ears or something?
Drifting from just over the cliff, which is just outside the church ruin that you stand in. However, you manage to do something, which I will leave up to you, in time to prevent yourself becoming enchanted. Whether it's fingers in the ears
I'm
or
going to shove
whatever.
pencils into my ears, rupturing my eardrums. No, fingers in your ears may be probably a more sensible thing to do.
Okay. But you're now aware that something is going on.
Cool.
Okay, back in the group. Samuel Taylor is not moving. He's not intimidated by Hux's.
I think there is maybe a 3 or 4 second pause where someone else has a chance to do something before Hux acts rashly, and then Hux will act rashly.
Well, I might, in which case...
Hux is specifically leaving this gap, knowing how he acts rashly sometimes.
Right,
He might want to jump in this time.
He is waiting for justification to continue to act rashly, so...
My God.
Bonneville, prove it.
I will shout somewhat worriedly, looking at Hux and B. Again, like Samuel, you were taken against your will. You realize that. Why do the same to someone else? This is not fair. This is not right. And I would kind of like to use my insight, which page 67. Control my own destiny. You can use your insight. This comes from the the near-death experience. Blah blah blah. We've kind of got to that before. You can use your insight to control what an NPC is thinking or doing. The effect only lasts a moment, and you cannot make them harm themselves or their friends. The game master may decide that an NPC cannot be controlled at the moment. But essentially, I'm going for kind of like just a moment of distraction, a moment of realization that trying to break through, essentially. And
Steve, you have so much cool shit with him.
It hasn't worked yet.
You just have to be near death, and you get loads of cool
stuff.
Yeah, just gotta gamble.
We're priming ourselves right now for that. Like we're all on the verge of dying.
Stop interrupting, Henry.
All the cool stuff coming our way.
Okay, so you're behind the group, right? So Hux, you see Samuel's face kind of not soften, but he's not sort of glaring at you in the same way anymore. And you see him kind of like if you were locking eyes before, and now he kind of goes like that for a moment. So he's momentarily not paying full attention to you, essentially.
Yeah, I think that is the opportunity. I don't think they're going to be taken. I don't think we're going to reason them out of this situation. So I think that's the opportunity I need. I'm going to sweep his legs from under him and use the opportunity to try and haul people behind me in front of me.
Okay, can you make me a force roll in that case, please?
Does this count as close combat?
Absolutely.
Yes. I can use my tough as nails bonus. It's the first time I've ever
I think if I said it didn't, you'd have a fair argument.
Yeah. Okay, so 5, 9, 11 dice, -1 for exhausted. Well, that's 7 rolled, and I got no successes. Well, there's two successes. That improved.
Okay, nice. Yeah, he drops. I'm not going to roll a thing for him because he's not paying attention to you. So he drops, and actually, you push him with such force that he kind of knocks into a couple of the others that are crowded around the outside as well. They're not knocked down, but they do stumble back, and there is a small opening.
Try and shove Daniel through that small opening.
I want to be the last to move this time, so I'm staying put until everyone else is in front of me.
Okay. So you shove Daniel and Elizabeth through.
We do need both of them to get married, right?
It's the classic, yeah.
Yeah, it's just they seem to be mostly after him. Like getting him to the church first seems fairly key, right?
Yeah,
we could get Daniel married to someone else because he's the main one here. But...
I mean, that's true.
Yeah,
but yeah, we're pushing both of them through.
And
could be flirting like that.
Okay, they make it through the gap, and there now is a little bit of disarray among the group of thralls. Whereby they're trying to figure out who's where now in the dark. They don't want to run after those people if the people that they're after are still right here with them. So they're taking a second to assess. So what is everybody else doing? They do kind of like the ones that are backmost towards the lighthouse all take a little step forwards because whoever they're after, they're in that direction. So anyone still in the middle, they're getting closer to you behind you.
I'm going to push the captain through because we also need an officiant in order to get married.
Yep.
It's like that riverboat crossing problem.
Yeah.
You need a bride and a groom and a...
I think I'll try and stick with Daniel, and ideally Captain too, but primarily with Daniel.
Yeah, I'd want to try like helping anyone that gets near me. Well, anyone that we know that gets near me.
Okay, seeing Constance, Elizabeth, Daniel, and the captain pass me, which it sounds like they have, I will just dive into a few of the thralls since they seem distracted.
Okay. Can you make me another force roll? And I am going to have this be because you're going for like, I'm assuming that you're literally purposefully going for at least two of them in
Yeah,
one.
I'm more just barreling into them rather than trying to hurt them anyway.
Okay.
Ouch, that was no successes. I'm going to reroll. I'm going to get 2 conditions.
Getting ever closer to those cool skills.
9. 3 successes. No, 4
Okay.
successes, sorry. No, wait, 5
Okay.
successes. Sorry, I've got different types of 6 on these dice.
Okay.
Strike!
Punches
Okay.
his hat fist through someone's skull.
I'm
So-
trying to disrupt them as much as possible, not hurt them.
So because they're not a circle anymore, because they've kind of moved around into a bit of disarray, you basically manage to sort of spear one of them and almost, take down a row then of them. So 4 of them total go down, with you then kind of on top of it and sort of at the base end of this pile of 4 people.
Amazing. I've got so Hux now has the condition battered, which makes absolute sense, and it just kind of goes go while flailing around, probably feet in the air. It's a bit funny, despite being effective.
I'll go.
Okay, so everyone is going apart from Hux. Okay, cool. For anybody watching, Mosling tried to ring the bell, which is in the church. It has not been used for maybe 100 years. It is incredibly seized. And Mosling couldn't quite, with fingers in both ears, couldn't quite get the the amount of effort required to make the bell ring.
Grip the rope with your teeth.
Yeah.
Bash his head against it.
As you all get right to the church, can you each make logic rolls, please? So not Hux.
Are these a fear thing? Because I have a thing that gives me +2 on fear.
This is
They're
not a fear roll. No.
No. And this isn't one where we get extras if we're with our pals. I think
They're
we do-
fear rolls as well, aren't they?
That's
I
the
think.
same. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Just
Nice try.
I failed.
Oh my
Okay.
god! 2 dice and I succeeded on 1.
I got 1 6
Proving the rule.
from 5 dice.
Okay, what order was B last to go?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Oh no.
so Bonneville and Constance. So just I haven't really described the church. It's small. At any given time, there are 1 or 2 people living on this island. So it was basically, it's almost like it's almost like double like shed size. Like it's really small. And then there is a small tower, which you assume has a bell housed in it. There is a rope coming down the front, and there's sort of 2 pews, and then a small area at the front where the rope is hanging down, which is sort of like, what's the front bit in a church where the lectern would be, for example? That
nave?
area. Thank you.
Yes.
So yeah, and the back area where the pews are, the roof is crumbled in and part of the wall is crumbled in. So you don't go through a door to get into the church. You just run through the side of the church, basically. Bonneville and Constance get in, and as B is probably 5 meters away from the church edge, she hears the sweetest song that she's ever heard come drifting in off the sea, and pauses for a moment.
Can I fire my revolver to see whether that has any effect?
Have you noticed? B is behind you all.
Probably not.
Is everyone else in the church? Well, like the captain and Daniel and Elizabeth.
They've come forward with you, yeah,
They're
because I
awesome.
think you were making sure they all went, and B
Yeah.
was kind of at the back of that.
I mean, once people are in the church, I think it would be a reasonably natural reaction to look back.
Yeah,
because Hux is being, kicked to whatever. So yeah, there'll be some degree of concern to.
Yeah. So Mosling, you obviously see everybody come running into the church. I'm also happy that it might have been this moment that you were attempting to ring the bell.
Sure.
So yeah, Bonneville and Constance, you will have also done something to block your ears upon realizing what's going on. In that split second that it didn't quite get a hold of you. Yes, Justin?
Looking around the church, is it barricadable, defensible? Is it a store of guns? Is there anything in this church that I can use? Perhaps it's full of gunpowder. Perhaps
Check under the
it's
pews. Maybe
littered
they're
with the
taped under the bottom of the
corpses of
pews.
the other people who tried to help this man.
So it's not exactly barricadable, but you can only fit probably 1, maybe 2 people at a time through this gap in the wall. So you've at least got, a choke point there.
A choke point, yeah.
Bonneville and Constance, what are you doing to block your ears? Has anybody brought anything specific?
So we were discussing this earlier. I don't think we had the full complement of Constance's.
I've got some.
Yeah,
oh, great.
so
That's great.
Last session, Constance had suggested that we leave more stuff back at the lighthouse for the civilians, basically. So Constance definitely doesn't have her personal earmuffs and stuff. She'll have definitely left those. So it's a hand over ears situation for Constance.
That doesn't sound like something Mosley would have done.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's up to you guys if you followed suit or not. If you still took your own stuff.
I mean, we talked about using candle wax for the civilians back at the lighthouse.
But Constance
obviously
definitely
Daniel
it was the sort of anyone who doesn't want to, if you need to, whack some earmuffs on someone else sort of situation. So yeah, Constance definitely does not have hers, but it's up to you guys. You can very much,
I'm happy with whatever you guys want to say is what you've done, basically.
I think I'll roll a d6 to see whether I have a pair.
For what it's worth, I think I would have told B to take them as well, because you have a gun, B. Not that you have choice right now, but
Mosling is the kind of person who secures his own oxygen mask before helping others.
Sure. Well, perhaps you've got mine then, because I rolled yes, I thought 1 to 3 I'd have it, 4 to 6 I didn't. I roll a 4. So
hey, someone's got to witness and hear the ceremony, right? There's also that.
True.
Maybe that's what you had in mind. You were thinking wedding guest. There's a lot going on.
Okay, so what's everybody done? Are you fingers in ears?
I
to me.
guess so. I'll be looking around for sort of, stuff that can,
Seaweed, bit of moss.
yeah, moss, that sort of stuff. So hands over ears currently looking around for something to deaden the sound.
Stick your head underwater.
Short of pencils. There's probably bad things underwater anyway. So
How are the others, Captain Daniel and Elizabeth?
The captain has his fingers in his ears. Elizabeth is completely fine. You don't know whether she's unaffected because of being a fellow Vaesen. And also Daniel seems unaffected. You just rolled a logic roll, didn't you, Inga? Yeah, and succeeded, and so did Steve. So we'll just use that. You both wonder if somehow he's immune to this, and perhaps if he wasn't, this entire thing wouldn't have happened. You don't know how or why. That's probably not the most important thing to figure out right now, but you wonder if that may be it.
I just blessed him. That'd be why.
Yeah,
of course.
obviously. Okay, so yeah, you've come in. You've realised that you're potentially about to be enthralled. You have seen Gale attempting to ring this bell, and now I'm quite happy that if you've looked around to try and find something to put in your ears, like even if there would have been some moss or something for you to put in to at least deaden the sound enough. But that will take you, we'll say, a minute to put all of that together. And then you realise B isn't there.
Start looking around anxiously to see whether whether I can see B. Is it a minute? Oh God, yes. How long would it take to walk into the sea?
I'm
Okay,
honestly not
so
sure
let's-
I'd even be looking for B at this point, by the way. I think I'd be starting to think about ceremony prep.
Okay, so hooks.
Oh, yeah.
You-
It's presumably hard to hear a siren song if you're being punched in the face.
Yeah, I don't think that's what I'm going to be rolling right now.
No.
Somehow.
I think Jonny's counting successes.
Depends how many I'm fighting at once here. I'm assuming it's not all 12, but it might be a decent number. I mean,
no,
they're not
so
armed,
actually-
so they're just going to hurt me, right?
Well, one of
So,
them probably is going to be holding your arms behind your back.
Okay.
Hux is a kicker, right?
Well, Hux does have a revolver and a crowbar, which might come out if I feel like I'm in mortal danger, if I have the chance to. But they might well, subdue me first. I don't know. Depends how many more sixes I can roll.
So two of them managed to maneuver themselves and make a swing to the point of potentially making contact with you. So you then get to make a roll. You can use your fast action to parry, so you can basically try and block their swinging arms.
I like the idea that my strategy here is just chaos, just moving around and trying to cause as much of a mess as possible among them all. So I'm not really specifically trying to block them. I'm just throwing myself about and thrashing about. Just
So if you so if you make an agility roll, and we'll just
agility, cool.
Yeah.
I think I will use my robust. May ignore physical conditions once per session. In this one, which gives me 7 dice to roll rather than 5. Seems like a good moment to stay conscious. That was worth it. 4 successes. Holy shit, my dice are hot or not tonight.
Nice. Okay, let's say that one of them basically dives at you and you move out the way with such pace that they go falling back onto the floor again. So there's kind of one of them up now and ready to hit you again next time, but the other 3 are all still sort of down.
With
the other,
go on.
the rest of the group look to be moving towards the church now, but
Cool.
not at any great pace. They're kind of almost shambling a little.
Okay. That's slightly relieving. I probably can't distract more than like 4 of them, so I guess I'll stay in a fist fight with just these 4.
Cool.
If I have the chance to take out my crowbar now, I probably will as well.
Yeah, I'm happy that you can do that. So let's do one more round of combat to fill the gap of time.
Okay.
Is that crowbar your special item there, Hux?
Well, yeah, but amusingly, I'm worse with a crowbar than I am in close combat with my knuckles. So maybe I throw the crowbar on the ground dramatically and then go to punch one of them instead.
Okay.
So with my fists.
Presumably the one who is still up, the other 3 are still kind of getting back onto their feet.
Yeah. I'm just trying to. Yeah, exactly. Whoever looks like they might move away.
Yeah.
So how many dice do I have now? So 5, 11, 9 dice. One success.
Yeah, you hit him and he drops to the ground.
Excellent.
Okay, so Steve, if you stick your head out of the church, you can see B sort of wandering towards one of the cliff edges.
Okay.
She's about 50 meters away from you.
Okay. So if Mosling's put the lantern down,
Yeah.
I will grab some spare moss, and then leg it over to B to try to. Presumably,
Okay.
there's no. Are there any groups or hazards or between?
Totally different direction. So she's going past the church, which is the nearest cliff edge,
Right.
and the direction that, as far as you're concerned, the song is coming from. Can you make me an agility roll, please, Steve?
Can I use my sprinter skill?
Yes.
Okay. This is physique, which is 3, plus agility, which is 3, plus 2, but minus 1 because I am exhausted. So 7 dice. And I get 1 success. You're thinking, 1 success really doesn't quite cut it, does it?
Okay.
We all have jogged over the cliff.
You are you grab the lantern and you grab the same stuff that you've used, and you set off running. And as you are running, you're attempting to sort of do the maths division in your head of, I've covered this distance in the time that she's covered this distance, and I have this much further to get to her, and she has this much further to get to the edge of the cliff.
Would it help if I'm doing that maths if I then push the roll?
No, you get to B.
Okay.
But you have to kind of grab onto the back of her coat as she takes the first step over the edge.
Hope your
But
coat's sturdy.
her right leg is still on the edge of the cliff. So now, can you either make me another agility roll if you want to try? So you've got 2 options. Another agility roll if you want to try and single-handedly block her ears, or a force roll if you want to first yank her back off the edge and then deal with that.
Okay. Well, I have 0 points in force, which isn't a great start. Can I might go on.
There is a discussion here as to whether Hux told B to take earmuffs because she is a weapon holder. In which case, we'll give you a third option. Agility for Moss, force for pull her back off the edge first, or let's say a vigilance roll to see whether you remember this and can spot the earmuffs.
Okay. What about also having, because there was a story about the cannon going off that broke because there was another story about somebody being mid-trance and the cannon going off and breaking. So I have my revolver. Can I fire my revolver? Not at B, I hasten to add, just sort of near.
Just a warning shot to the leg, like Samuel.
If we can't have you, no one can.
It's up to you.
Can't climb off a cliff if your leg's broken.
Roll me a d6. On a 1, 2, 3, you are holding on to B with your offhand. And on a 4, 5, 6, you're holding on to her with your shooting hand. I'm not saying you can't take the shot anyway, but...
Sure. I rolled a 3. So
okay, so you have your good hand free still. Okay. You can go for that.
Then I'll try. Yes, I'll try the loud bang.
Sort of right here.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't deafen B forever, but
render my character deaf.
I mean, it's either that or render your character quite flat at the bottom of a cliff.
To be fair, she is a riflewoman, so she's probably had gunshots go off right next to her ear fairly regularly.
Yep.
Is B already deaf and just really good at lip reading?
Yeah.
Is that the plan?
I think that's the plan. Given that it ties in with a story previously, and yeah.
Okay. B, you were standing outside the church, and now you can see the sea crashing below you.
Hell!
And your right ear is ringing quite substantially.
Well, and I smell gunpowder, so obviously I've just fired my gun. So I take a step back away from the ocean and raise my gun.
I mean, if you're stepping backwards, I'd be hanging on to you. So it might be that the change in sort of position and leverage could cause a tumble, because I'll be trying to pull you backwards anyway.
Yeah, you both kind of flop backwards.
But yes, I'll be yelling B repeatedly, and then yes, either trying to stuff moss in B's ears, or if I'd seen the earmuffs, sort of, trying to put them on B.
I am trying to rise into a firing position. So I don't think I'd really stop you from trying to put earmuffs on me.
Okay. Which direction are you pointing in? Out to sea? That was the way you were facing. And if you think is that what you're saying? You think you've just shot that way, so you're going to do the same again?
Yes. Yeah, that would make sense.
Okay. So you now have the earmuffs on, and you are aiming out to sea.
Can I see anything that I may have been shooting at?
Nope.
Bonneville?
I'll be sort of scrambling to get to my feet again, and probably taking a couple of steps back further away from the cliff. And then, what's the international sign language for you've been sung at by a mermaid? I'll be spinning around, sort of trying to look to see whether there's anything obvious. You know, I'm looking for the mermaid essentially. I'll sort of point randomly to my ears and the earmuffs, and then scan around for the mermaid. Presumably she's nearby.
You can both make me vigilance rolls, actually, if you'd like.
Could I use my bloodhound as part of that? Because it gives me extra vigilance when tracking prey, and I'm literally looking for something to shoot at.
Yeah.
2 + 3 + 3 - 2 = 6. No successes.
I rolled 9 dice and got 1 success.
Okay. Yeah, you think you can see something on one of the sort of sharp rocks directly below, where B was sort of stepping down onto.
I'll sort of wave and then point.
For B. Yeah, so you see it then in that case. Well, I'm saying this. Would you want to get that close to the edge to peer over? I'm fine if you would. I'm just thinking, I'm not sure I'd want to be if I was just about to step over. But B's probably tougher than I am in real life, so.
You know what? I think I'm gonna rule that if it's at the bottom of the cliff, it can't get me, and I can't get it. So maybe I won't peer over.
Good philosophy.
I'll just sort of...
Back in the church, what's going on?
Can we marry these two?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, rather than stopping to kind of look and check when you start taking a head count, would have been, okay, check that the wedding party is here.
How about you? Do you?
I guess the only thing is, obviously, if a bunch of us are blocking our ears, including the captain, right? I don't know if that's just... Well, I guess the married couple, they're the main ones, aren't they? So maybe it's okay.
Is it like screaming and yelling at each other? You could still hear each other, right? You know, it's not completely sound blocked. So you could just do a yelling, ceremony.
Yeah.
Ceremony.
That's what I'm aiming for here, to be honest. I mean, do we have was it the captain that was going to do the actual wedding?
Yeah.
And is the captain here? Is the captain able to perform? Well, then get to it. That's my encouragement.
We've got 2 witnesses. The 2 of us are here. Yeah.
I'm going to say, so you have begun the ceremony. Hux is taking care of 4 of these people.
We have a bouncer. It's a strict invitation only, this wedding.
Bonneville and B, if since you're presumably moving away from this edge now, if you turn around, you see this sort of shadowy group of people moving towards the church.
In a total disregard for my own safety, can I say, you said I knocked the 4th one down and 3 of them are on the ground. If I have the chance, I would sprint directly towards the church rather than try and stay fighting these 4. So I might be chasing the others as well, if I can.
You rolled well on agility before, didn't you? I'm not
I rolled
to re-roll that.
I think I rolled a 4 on that.
Okay. Do you want to run straight into some of them again from the back?
I think I do.
Great.
Oh gosh.
Okay. So can you make another force roll, please, Sam?
Yes, I can.
It feels like I'm watching Mexican kind of like, if you're seeing this, you'd be watching like a wrestling show. Like all of a sudden, Hux is like taking out all these people that go flying, and he clotheslines 2 of them from the back.
I'm losing dice from my physical conditions, so each time it's getting less likely. I'm down to 6 now. That was a no success, and I'm not going to push it. I think I don't make it. I'm too exhausted.
So you go to try and basically dive into one of them, but they've heard you coming and they move out the way, and you kind of do that thing where you outrun yourself and kind of land flat on your front on the floor. Bonneville and B, you think this is probably Hux. You can't tell for definite because they're kind of silhouetted. All of this stuff is silhouetted to you at the moment. So you see this group part slightly and a figure comes stumbling through, basically. You are 20 meters from the church and probably another 10 from this group. Just so you're aware.
And the group are heading towards the church. That's their...
Seem to be, yes.
I think I, with a gesture to Henry, would start heading to try and cut them off. And if I think I could take a shot without hitting the figure that could potentially be Hux, then I would like to do that. But I don't want to shoot Hux.
So
I can help it.
You haven't noticed that figure getting back up yet, although it's silhouetted, so it's difficult to tell. But the figure basically came through the middle. So if you shot to either end, you think you'd be pretty safe.
Okay.
So yeah, give me a ranged roll, John, if you want, please.
Cool. I realized in my last roll, I forgot to take the bonus for my actual gun into account. +2.
Do it twice this time.
Plus, I feel like it's quite obvious it's Hux probably because there's a "ah," and then probably swearing from the middle of the group as I fall over.
Oh, also, Sam, can you please make a logic roll for Hux?
Yeah, I'm probably closer.
Oh,
I'm 100% failing this, by the way, folks.
Oh my god.
It's 2 successes.
I might
Nice.
push it. Can I push this?
No.
Yeah, that's a fail. 2 dice.
Okay. So you one of them on the end goes down. You two rolled vigilance rolls recently. B failed. Henry got a 1. Okay. Henry, there were 9 figures there. One's just gone down, and there are still 9 figures in the group now.
What?
There were 9
One's
figures
just gone
moving
down.
forwards.
Yes.
So there were 9 figures in the group. Somebody came running through the middle of the group and fell over. Then the person at the end of the group has been shot and gone down. The group has started moving forwards again, and now there are 9 figures in it again.
I'm not
Fire
sure.
randomly.
By
That's
which
good
what I'm
odds.
saying out of character is that Hux has joined this group of people.
Right, okay. I thought that's what you were.
Yeah.
As long as Hux isn't heading towards a cliff. I'll say to B, I think he's been got. I don't know. Again, singing. We really need to work out a standardized, threat. Anyway, never mind. What sort of distance was it from the top of the cliff to the thing I thought was a mermaid?
Ooh.
Is it essentially is it gun shooty range, or is it?
Yeah. You could definitely shoot to that point.
I think I'm going to walk back to the edge of the cliff and try to shoot down. I'm a crap shot, but at least I won't be hitting Hux.
Can you make me a ranged combat roll, please, Steve, for Henry?
Okay. I realized I wasted a silver bullet on deafening B as well, because I still have I'm down to 3 silver bullets. It's silver, might not do a thing. It's not steel, but hey. Anyway.
That's exactly the sort of thing that would happen in a situation, though, isn't it? Just forget you had it.
Ranged
His
combat.
gunshot didn't help Hux at all. Yeah.
No.
Okay, ranged combat is precision. Oh god, this isn't I'm not great with these. So 2 dice of precision. And precision is a physical.
he was 30 meters away, so it's too far for it to have had a tangible effect on his hearing.
Well, I'll be rolling 6 dice because I've still got a physical condition, but I have 2 for the revolver. Yes, bonus 2, yes. I get no successes, but I'm going to push that, I think. Just once. And I get 1 success. I'm going to take the battered condition, I think. But I do get 1 success.
You hear the sound of the gunshot making contact with something, and there is a break in the song for a moment, and you then feel a sort of sting on your cheek, and you realize that something has been thrown at you or something, and there's a little bit of blood starting to seep down Henry's cheek, and the song resumes. If B was looking towards the group still, which I think she might have been, you do see like a temporary pause in their movement for a couple of seconds, and then they continue on. Back in the church, the wedding is about 70% complete. I'm going to say that this is like boiled down to its smallest components, right? So maybe like 2.5 minutes total, like the least that you have to do to make it official kind of thing. In 18 in Britain. So probably 30 seconds and you'll be home free. But the group are now beginning to step through the edge of the church.
Presumably we've at least, I was going to say, presumably there's been gunshots and stuff happening close by right now, right? So like, even
you're aware that something's going on, yeah.
We're aware something's going on, yeah. So, I mean, I'd like to think that they're up front getting married and we're at the back closer to where the entrance is. So,
yeah.
Time for the real powerhouses. Yeah, Hugs thinks he can throw punches, but he hasn't seen Kirk and Mosling in action.
I really want the first one through this door to be Hux as well, and Gale to just be punching him.
Fuck you.
Where's our butler to throw some punches for us?
It could be any of us, right?
I am going to engage in physical combat. I'm going to punch this bit. I'm going to just make a close combat roll because I might only have 2 dice, but that's 2 chances. And I can push. I got 1 success on my 2 dice.
Nice.
Is that the situation we're in now? Yeah.
It's the situation Mosling's in. He's saying, "Get out of here, you! There's a wedding going on."
Yeah, so that you hit the first person and they kind of stumble backwards, and then are basically pushed back into the room by Hux.
It wasn't Hux that I punched, was it?
No.
Can I also try with my crucifix? My holy
symbol. That'll leave a mark. You might be able to break the skin with that.
Well, I was thinking probably less with the pointy end, but yeah. What was that? Oh, that's with I roll this one with inspiration because it's my holy symbol thing. Oh, but -1 is the fundamental condition. No successes for me.
Okay. Right. The first person that comes in is going to go back for Mosling. And I got 2 successes. So would you like to dodge or parry from that, Justin?
What would dodging be? Agility roll?
Agility roll, yeah.
I guess I'll do a dodge then, because I'm not bad at dodging per se. And I rolled 1 success. Do I need to get 2?
So you take 1.
Yeah, and there's no point pushing because I'll take a damage for that anyway.
Yeah. And Hux is going to swing for Sister Constance.
What?
I'm sorry. Do you want to know how many dice you get, Johnny?
Yes, please.
Well, I have 2 conditions at least.
We've been working on
9 dice. Only 9 dice.
Oh my god.
Punching a nun.
That's ridiculous.
What
This
is
not my
wrong
fault.
with you?
No successes.
I knew. You
Good.
see, deep down.
Somewhere in there.
Please save me now.
Oh, steady on, Hux. That's not on.
Constance is pretty shaken by this. This is not ideal.
Mosling. B and Henry.
I guess I'll-
Oh, you first. Go on.
I was gonna say I'm gonna look back at you, but I'm gonna start running towards the church to help defend it.
Yeah, I'll probably be sort of, if I've felt something sting my face, my hand will go up to it to see whether it's some sort of poison quill or something. But yeah, I'll be staggering back and heading to the church.
Yes.
Steve, Henry thinks, if anything, that it was nearest to being like maybe like a rock or something like that, rather than
right. Okay.
Yeah. It's sort of like a split through blunt force potentially, rather than
Right. Okay. Well, if as the seconds tick by and I realise that I'm not paralyzed and or becoming a thrall or anything, then I'll be happier. But I'm kind of getting the sense that my single gunshot didn't do a whole heap of good.
Okay. So are you heading over to the church as well? Okay, Sam, can you make a logic roll again, please?
I get another chance. Yay. Oh, no. I mean, it's a third chance, so.
Okay. Right, so B and Henry, what are you going to do? They're basically filing into the corner of the church now.
And that's the only way in?
There is a door around your side, actually. Well, no, sorry, not your side. It's at the back of it almost. So where you had gone in was like the back right corner. So you would come to the church on the right-hand side of the church, the way that you've come. Does that make sense? So when you were looking at it, the way that you've come, the front of the church is to the right and the back is to the left. So there is a door at the back of the church, which is sort of where you would probably come to. You don't know if it's locked. You don't imagine it is, but like whoever has left this last might have locked it and gone, and then all this disrepair has happened. So
I mean, to be honest with you, I wouldn't know what to do if I got in there anyway. I think I might be, he says, looking at his character sheet. I think I might resort to picking up and throwing rocks.
Okay.
I don't want to shoot anybody. So
okay,
I guess I'll just be shouting. I'm just trying to sort of distract them, shouting and chucking rocks at them.
Yeah, ranged combat then, Steve. Give me a ranged combat roll.
Oh my god!
And John,
can
are
I
you doing?
Run into the group?
Yes.
then I want
Same
to
thing
run.
as. Go on, sorry.
I think I've maybe put together a sequence of events that I wasn't completely cogent with. I want to do to this group what Henry did to me, and that I want to run up close in among them and fire a shot into the air.
Into the echoey,
Okay.
loud cavern.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do Steve's roll first because that will happen first.
Okay, well, that's going to be a grand total of 4 dice because I got 2 physical conditions now. So precision plus ranged. Hang on, no. Ranged is 3, precision is 2, minus 2. Oh no, just 3.
John, you can be rolling if you want to make a ranged roll as well. I'm going to put a number on it. So there are 9 of these people. For every success that you get, you will find an angle to be near enough to 3 of them to have an effect on them, essentially. Any successes, Steve?
I rolled 3 dice. I got 1 success.
Nice. Okay.
I'm going to push.
Okay.
I'm wondering what effect a loud noise is going to have on the people who've been enthralled for a long time.
That's 1 success.
Okay. You'd be starting. You're going for like the middle of this group, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you basically run right up next to Samuel Taylor. He was kind of in the middle of this group, and you fire this shot, and he and one person either side of him. You hadn't really noticed that because like they seemed quite switched on and aware of everything that was happening, but you almost see this film slide from over their eyes as this shot rings, and they sort of and like whichever ear was the one that was nearest the shot, they kind of put their hand over their ear and they kind of look around, and there's these other people like moving around them. And Samuel goes, "I'm alive." And the 3 that
down.
He does, and the other 2 do, but the 3 that are behind them are continuing to try and go into the church. So Constance and Mosling, you've got 15 seconds
till the bomb goes off.
The
Wedding
deed is
completion.
done.
Right.
The wedding
Try and,
progress bar
like,
is at 94%.
bodily try and stop it, like in between, shoving back, just keeping the wedding thrallless.
Yeah.
Just bodily trying to come between it, whether that means shoving something out of the way, like depending on how close you are, trying to shove something out of the way or block the path or whatever.
Okay. So can you make a close combat roll, and we'll say it's sort of like a grappling.
Do I have time to use my memento before, like during the and do an action, or is that too much stuff?
I don't think you can.
Sure, that's fine then.
Now I have a 0 in close combat and 3 in physique.
That's still pretty good. That's more dice than I was rolling. 3 is the perfect number of dice to roll. You got 2 successes, I hope.
No successes, but I'm going to push.
Okay.
To get still no successes.
Damn.
I guess I'm going to mark myself battered. Can you push again, or you can only push once?
You can only push once. Justin, what is your memento?
It is a music box. So, yeah.
I think that would be.
Yeah, I can. There's lots of reasons. Yeah, there's lots of reasons not to do it. because my difficulty right now is that I've got I'll
You're on,
only be
like,
rolling one
0
dice,
or something. Okay.
and so I'm kind of like I think what I would like to try is to make a impassioned plea to Hux to snap out of it, because at least then I'm rolling like 9 dice, and if there's a chance that it might work, there's a chance that I might roll some successes. I don't think there's going to be anything to be gained for a 1 in 6 chance. I'd rather take like a 1 in 20 chance or a 1 in 100 chance that this will work than the
Okay.
1 in 6 chance for for combat roll that's not going to do anything. You know what I mean? I don't know. This is what I'm leaning towards, because I'm not going to.
Okay.
One dice is not going to do anything else otherwise.
Make me your roll. Are you
Okay.
wanting to do it on inspiration?
I would like to give that a go and
Okay.
say, like, something, trying to appeal to that logic to explain to Hux that he's entangled, he's enfeebled.
I'm going to tell you need more
etc.
than 1 success.
I thought I would need more than 1 success, but it's still my best hope. Luckily, I do have lots of dice, and I make inspiration rolls without any penalties because I have lots of talents related to this. So I roll 1 success normally, but I'm going to push.
Okay.
When I push, I forget. Do I only re-roll things that didn't roll successes, or do I re-roll everything?
Correct. Yeah. You keep the 6, and you can roll everything else.
Okay, that's less good. And I just roll 1 success. So there you go.
Okay. Yeah. It's a beautiful speech. It's lovely. But Hux continues his kind of droning steps forwards toward the front of the
Fair.
church. And so Hux and one other are basically past you and moving towards the captain and Daniel and Elizabeth. And the captain, without even breaking his speech,
I love this guy.
Shoots Hux through the head.
shoots directly between the soon-to-be bride and groom, and
Killing
hits
Hux.
the front thrall square in the forehead, and he falls to the ground, leaving Hux basically visible, walking down the aisle towards him. There's no way that he can reload this weapon in the time that he needs.
Good.
Would have been a good edge of the series.
That captain has done this before.
I rolled 2 successes on 6 dice, so straight headshot. Right, let's go back around. Henry.
Okay, remind me what the situation is. So
There are 3 still trying to head into the church. There is 1 right at the back of the church. Hux is walking down the aisle toward the front of the church. You wouldn't necessarily be aware of that bit from where you are. And there are 3 that seem to have broken out of the spell. Sam, can you make a logic roll, please? Don't tell me the result yet.
Okay.
He was going to shoot you through the head either way, so he doesn't. He can tell you after you're dead.
Oh, ouch. That would be vicious. I think I'm going to try running for this other door. So, yeah, I can't get in through that. There's a mob of people at the gap. I'm going to try to go for the other door now. I don't think there's anything I can do.
Okay. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's fine.
It is unlocked.
Right.
So the doors swing open, and you can basically see there's Constance and Gale here with You can see the gap from this side with one already through and some others coming through. You can see a body lying in the aisle. You can see hooks walking towards the front of the church. And you can see this wedding occurring. And I'll say that you can have an action.
And where's the bell in relation to all of this?
Past
where
the
I am?
wedding, basically.
Past the wedding. Oh my God, what can I possibly do? I'm just going to run towards Hux, I think.
With what goal in mind?
Just knock him down.
Okay. Can you make a close combat roll for me then? Please?
Yikes. This is going to be 1 die.
Why am I the only person who has this?
Well, you were the nominated combat person, I think.
I wasn't the nominated making sure I didn't get enthralled person, though.
We don't need any other hand-to-hand combat experts. We've got you. Just like we don't need any more long-range combat experts.
I mean,
we've got me, and there's nothing that's ever going to happen to me.
I mean, I guess I could just do the gun trick again because it did work.
What's your gun? Is it a revolver?
It's a revolver, yeah.
Well, you've only fired, what, 2, 3 shots? So, yeah.
Two shots. But it will disturb the wedding a bit. Yeah, I'll run up and fire the gun in the air near to Hux.
What a ceremony!
Absolute chaos.
Okay, can you make a ranged combat roll, please, Steve?
Well,
And
hit
I
the
thought-
rafters and something falls on
I
my
thought
head.
weddings in my family were bad.
You know, this is one of those moments when Vaesen really does miss having a critical failure roll, because the scenario is when a critical failure would really give you so much interesting,
Oh my God.
horrible story.
So, yes, this is 4 dice. Oh, no, it's not, because I'm using the revolver. So it's 3 for range combat, 1 because my physique is down to 1 die with the penalties, and then 2 for the revolver. And I get 2 successes.
Fine. Yes, bang, and Hux freezes in the aisle. Sam, Hux is suddenly in the church. Having, the last thing that you remember, you almost wonder if you sort of knocked yourself out or blacked out for a moment, because the last thing that you remember is charging through this group, falling to the floor, and then now you've come around and you're like, to Hux, maybe he thinks that he's just standing and watching the wedding, because in front of you, that's all there is. Your ear is ringing, but all you can see is this wedding taking place in front of you.
I think I'm still going to fall over. This was quite a lot. I just kind of collapsed to my side away from where the gunshot was, stunned for a moment.
So this group is still trying to come through, but the captain very loudly yells that he pronounces them man and wife. And they then come charging past Hux, and I suppose past Bonneville, because he moved into the aisle as well. And they run out of the open doors of the church and look to take a right-hand turn sort of towards the cliff. Is anyone following them?
I'm going to check on Hux.
Is this... Go on.
This is the other thralls, isn't it?
No, this is Daniel and Elizabeth.
Oh.
Yeah, they've run out of the church.
Yeah, I will follow, just
Yes.
curious, stumbling out the church.
Yeah.
Sure,
Okay.
why not?
You see them run right up to the edge of the cliff, and I imagine all of your hearts stop for a moment, probably especially Henry, who has seen B kind of go. but they then both hold their hand out, and you hear. You don't know how loud this would have been did you not have your things in your ears, although Hux does, but then his ear is ringing, so complications everywhere. But an ear-piercing, wailing scream of a mixture of rage, desperation, sadness, all mixed into one, are just released in this bellow from down below. And then, other than the sound of the lapping waves below, there is nothing.
What about the other thralls? Like, what has happened to them?
If you turn around to look, any that you can see, they're all looking a bit confused.
Apart from the dead one, obviously.
How? Obviously, it's night, but how is the storm looking?
In a reasonably short amount of time, it abates basically. But it is actually replaced by just rain. But you almost instinctively know that this is just what the weather is supposed to be here currently, rather than
It's the north.
Rather than a magical storm, it's raining.
Has the captain followed us out?
Yes, slowly. Yeah, and he's sort of limping.
I think I will walk slowly up to him, tap him on the back, and start hysterically laughing.
He sort of stares at you for a couple of seconds and then joins in.
Honest to God, thought he was just going to shoot him in the face.
We got
Cock
so
him on.
close.
My heart was going.
I'm just so glad the
Hux
captain
would
was just
know.
well on board with all this. Oh.
Yeah, like, Hux would have no idea, but like the captain was like the worst person for Hux to approach.
Oh, I didn't know. I had no idea. Exactly.
Yeah. Can we just do a quick, like, tend to, leg bullet wounds and such that can
Quick
be.
bury, let's see, for this poor person who's been shot in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to take some explaining, cleaning up.
Not really. I mean,
Says Mosling wandering off.
some more survivors washed up at sea. Not all of them made it.
I mean, I suppose we'll be asking them, yes, if it's similar to what B and Hux had experienced, that they just, know nothing. So,
I mean, I don't think anyone's going to believe any other stories apart from ours.
well, I suppose we better, look after these people, take them back to the lighthouse. Henry will be exhausted, so...
Hux is just laying on the ground, still panting and maybe slightly hysterically laughing.
Has no one got some gin with this man?
Reach into... Yes, have any bottles survived it? Hux's...
I can't believe I haven't done the most important thing. I can go over to the new couple and congratulate them on their wedding. Does no one have any manners?
Aye, congratulations.
I look at the two newlyweds framed against the cliff top, and I turn away and haul Hux to his feet.
I feel heavier than I've ever felt before.
Yeah, I think start getting everyone back to the lighthouse and warm and settled and fed and prayers over the body and heal up, bandage up wounds, and probably not answer many questions if there are any.
I really don't like mermaids.
So you head back and kind of discuss things with Rupert and Eleanor. They agree with your thing of, a few more people have just washed up is the story. Maybe on a large piece of driftwood or something, the group of them kind of came in on. The storm has abated now. The next day, boats come and take everybody back to the mainland, and there are sort of reports in the paper of this, another miraculous shipwreck story on Longstone Island, and Rupert and Eleanor settle back in at home and start discussing the idea of passing down some more duties to you as a group. You one day, as you're kind of sat around as a group in Rose House, one of you notices sort of poking out on a table in the sitting room as the fire's blazing, a small paper folder which has New Forest Recruits written on the top of it. And for this year, that's it.
Well,
okay then.
God damn it, Jonny!
I guess that Boggart's just going to drive that woman crazy.
Oh.
Perhaps she took
you could have done that. You could have dealt with that in the interim. We can do that as a little callback story. Okay, so let's do XP before I forget. Thank you everybody for watching. Please put questions or comments in the chat. That is going to be it for Vaesen for a while. Let's do the XP, and we'll assign the upgrade points as well, whether or not you want to do those now. We can do them another time.
So I upgraded my close combat before this session. I did not regret that decision.
Okay.
Go
on, Steve.
I was going to say I did the opposite. I thought, we're not going to have a pitched battle. We'll find some way of talking away out of it. So I spent my 5 XP on manipulation, which,
You're saying it didn't help you hit me.
So you participated in the session. So that's 1. Did you confront any Vaesen? Yes. Did you identify a previously unknown Vaesen? I don't think so.
Not in this session.
You'd kind of already decided it was a mermaid. Were you affected by your dark secret? I'll leave it up to you. Did you take risks to protect other people? I think we can accept that as a yes.
Yeah.
Have you learned anything? Yes. Did you develop something in your headquarters? Not yet, but we'll give you the point for that now for when that gets done. And I'm happy to say you performed an extraordinary action because you made it back from here, and I made a deal with Justin that was going to be when you would get the point for the extraordinary
So
action.
how many was that total then?
6 XP each.
Okay, cool.
I feel like Hux deserves like an extra bonus kind of extraordinary action for basically barreling himself into
I roll a lot of 6s in that
mermaid
combat. That was
solo and
Absolutely
taking out quite a lot of them.
I really wish the second one had worked, where I had already knocked 4 of them down, and then I pile into another group. But
so development points in this arc, you definitely played at least one scene at the headquarters. You encountered a new type of Vaesen. Did you visit a place of magic? I don't think you visited a place of magic.
unless the island would count, I don't think so.
You were subjected to magic.
Oh, there was the
Did you
cave
bring-
where Bonneville did the seance thing. Does that count? Or was that just
Wasn't a
anyone?
magic place. He was just there for the quiet.
Okay, sorry.
Did you? We suggest. Did you bring occult books or other important items back to headquarters?
Bring anything important back?
Did you make important contacts?
Are
Yeah.
we still in contact with the people at the lighthouse?
Or the Selkie.
And you've also
left
made
us.
friends with Linnea Alpha Clint, which is.
Oh, true. Yeah, of course.
Was the mystery particularly difficult and epic? I will say yes, considering you've also killed a werewolf.
Yeah, true.
And did you solve the mystery? Yes. And actually, we've bundled this in, so I'll give you 2 for that. So we'll say you've got 7 development points for Rose House.
Nice.
We've got really one other important thing to do,
Indeed, yes.
which is to work out whether I'm going to be permanently injured.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, that's a big deal. I was really getting towards committing Hux to being broken in that combat, and then it kind of smoothed out.
I'm
So
honestly
you've been
amazed that you
anemic,
didn't
right,
have that
Justin?
I've been anemic. I need to roll 6 dice to see if it becomes permanent.
What are you looking for here?
Successes.
Okay.
Oh! They're one everywhere. Okay, I'm just gonna... And it does become permanent. I'm now permanently anemic.
Wow. Okay.
Do you get any pluses from that?
It doesn't
Or-
sound like
No,
anemic is
just
a good
minus
thing.
2 force for the rest of the
No.
time.
Oh, gosh.
So Steve got magic powers and Justin
got
got an iron
anemia.
deficiency.
I mean,
so
like
is the
mine-
way of the world.
Mine
Yeah,
was
no.
like die in X rounds, sort of near death.
That's true.
It was. Yeah.
Mhm.
Is that literally it? It's just the same thing, but
Yeah.
lasts forever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I'm
that
just
sucks.
permanently anemic.
Wow.
No.
Well, that'll teach you, I guess.
I guess at least
Fighting a
force is not
werewolf.
very. Force is rarely rolled. So.
Depends how you play,
Mm.
right? If you,
I mean, I
if you
haven't rolled
have
force
some
that
barrel
much.
your way in. Yeah.
Cool. I think that's the story done. Sam, do you want to say a little bit about Warhammer at all for when we come back? Is there anything?
Yeah, I guess. I think we've said tentatively, although it's going to be confirmed, we'll start on the 8th of January with Warhammer back up again. So if you're curious, go check out the first arc before then, because that should be fun. And it's it's not like it's going to be required, but it's where all the characters started up. Everyone got familiar with everything going on. And yeah, we'll be revisiting World of Warhammer, Warhammer Fantasy. Probably all vaguely familiar with it, if nothing else. And we'll have a whole new story, whole new baddies, whole new stuff to encounter, whole new things trying to kill you. It's going to be fun.
Nice. Also, just a reminder that this Wednesday we are doing sort of a channel-wide roundtable chat on Wednesday night instead of Simba Room. So please come join us for that. And also another reminder that there is a poll that we're currently doing for what games people want to see us play next year, which hopefully will appear in the chat again any moment, but it is already in there further up. But yeah, please come join us on Discord or on our social media to get updates on what we're doing and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, links to that and our YouTube and our Patreon are below the video. I don't think I've forgotten anything. I don't think.
Did you mention the roundtable on Wednesday? Because I wasn't.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. There is a roundtable on Wednesday.
There is also,
but this is our last
yeah.
actual play stream of the year. But roundtable on Wednesday. Link to the Google form in the chat for the poll for what we play next year. Yeah, anything fun in the chat?
There were some good comments.
So we have to take wedding photos with the mermaid's thralls and send those along with some cake to the mermaid, and all's good. Yeah,
That seems fair to me.
yeah.
I was thinking, like, do we could like, can we maybe get one of them in as a witness? Can we get them to sign the book or something? Might not be too.
To be fair, like if I wasn't invited to a wedding, but was sent cake afterwards, I'd probably be happier than if I was invited to the wedding.
Yeah. How would you feel if you crashed your ex's wedding and then they sent you cake afterwards?
Checking that cake.
By the way, the mermaid that crashed the wedding is 100% going to be the lead story in Mosling's children's book of tales.
Nice.
What was 42's comment that just killed me? Oh yeah.
Punching a nun. RPGs are about fantasy fulfillment.
I mean, it has been, as other people have said, it's been working up to that for quite a while. There's been the threat of.
Well, technically, I failed to punch a nun, so it still hasn't happened.
It's true.
I'm really glad I failed that, because if I know, I can assume that Constance would have been like, if I'd hit Constance would have been injured, but probably wouldn't have said that I can imagine Constance wouldn't have said, "Oh, you did this, Hux." So I wouldn't have known, but if I'd ever found out, I think I probably would have just died.
Depends. Maybe Constance wouldn't have been alive to tell the tale.
Oh,
Who
God.
knows? If things had gone another way, you just beaten Constance to death. Like you just wake up with bloodied knuckles over the body of Constance. Who knows?
If that had been a 4 success roll, Jonny, and Constance had made none of the blocks.
You just wake up with a crowbar in her face. Yeah. I'm just amazed it was Hux out of everyone here.
Yeah, Hux likes Constance.
Wasn't really Hux. I feel like Hux might have experience in not getting caught in a fight.
Honestly, the juxtaposition of that, there's 13 of us, and then we all leg it, and Hux is just like, fucking take you all. It's just amazing.
It was
it was pretty good.
I think Hux has been waiting for a moment to do this for a while. I've certainly been waiting for a character with a lot of strength to just have a chance to go at people. So it was fun.
It was cool.
Go
on, Steve.
Yeah, my question for Jonny is how quickly did you think things would go off the rails? Like, was it always going to be a fight? Well, no, with us just causing major chaos and punching everybody and jumping off cliffs and things.
I thought there would be a fight. I was kind of making it so that it would be difficult for there to not be if you were going to get through them, it was going to have to be physical.
Yeah, we couldn't have negotiated.
Unless you could find a way to make enough noise to startle them all out of it.
Yeah, I was wondering if Bonneville was going to run for the bell or something, but we had no guarantee it would work, to be fair.
Yeah, by that point, my physique force skill was again 1 die. So
we need something strong very bell.
Physically.
But also,
no.
We had right at the beginning, shot Samuel in the leg, right? So that was reasonably close to all of them because they were closing in on us. So clearly it had to be
really
practically point blank range, right? To actually shake them out of it, because that didn't do anything for any of them.
True,
so
true.
I'm not even sure if the bell, I don't know.
So in my mind,
successes thing, or
in my mind, it needed to be something to replace the sound in their ears. So a ringing noise would. That's not in the rule, but that was how I was kind of like.
If you keep
because otherwise you could just be like la 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 la. That would be naff. Yeah. So in my head I was like something to replace that noise, almost knock it out with something else. So shooting them from 20 meters away, yes, the bang will be loud, but once the bang's gone, that's it.
Yeah.
So that was why I made it that kind of level of.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean, that totally makes sense.
So perpetual noise would have done it if the bell had been kept ringing potentially.
Yeah.
What's your
needed to get to the bell
for B? Because the other 3 have none. Does B have some, or is it just me?
My physique is 4.
Okay, you're all right then.
But it's that I don't have much in my skills in it. I've got a bit in agility, very little in force, and nothing in close combat.
Makes sense.
I think Fria is physically fit, but not doing that.
You're shooting boars. You're not wrestling them.
Yeah, she's going to be fit because she's hiking through forests and stuff, but she's not going to be in bar fights or whatever.
There's something else that I was going to tell you once this was over, but I can't remember what it. Oh, just that there was a very real chance that Rupert would die.
Ooh, if we messed up the
If you had stayed, if you decided, there was a very real point where you were planning whether or not to spend one more night doing things before you went over to the island, and if you had have done, Rupert would have been dead, and it would have been.
I'm glad Mosling was like, "We're going to go to the beach.
Good job, Mosling.
And we're going to go in the storm, and I don't care."
I mean, to be fair, Rupert would have also died if we died in the storm.
Well, we didn't, did we? Though,
Yeah.
so
concerns.
I was like, if you dealt with the boggart and then went, it would have been one of those like, this happened because you took too long to get there, kind of thing.
Yeah, we didn't really dally, did we? So
Eleanor will remember this.
Just a
It's
werewolf.
kind of funny though. Like, is that like, do you save one person and then that has the knock-on effect that somebody else goes? It is kind of like what happened in the church, right? Like we were trying to save Daniel, and someone died for us to do that. Like someone got shot right in the face, and other people potentially could have died as well. Like what's the balance of acceptable casualties, I guess. It's like very morally dicey.
But to be fair, it's by our hand, isn't it? By our choice. We weren't going to give Daniel up even if they were killing people, because we wouldn't give Daniel up morally. We couldn't. Like Constance would never do that. I don't think any of us would.
There's also the fact that if we'd given Daniel up and presumably gone without a fight, then all of those people would have remained the thralls of the mermaid.
We had no guarantee.
So they'd be alive, but
we also had no guarantee we would be able to safely leave, given the total. What's the word? There's a word for when someone doesn't care.
Apathy.
Yeah, apathy. Apparently, that the mermaids have for their damage to people on the surface.
I wasn't sure if if the thralls were going to be kind of released, or were they kind of. Obviously, they were in the end, but I was wondering. I was kind of waiting to see what happened with them, because are they just going to jump back into the water? And
it's been so long. Even with the ringing, do they come back? That's why I was wondering.
Yeah.
I did wonder whether they were rushing off to the cliff and just going to jump into the sea. So yes.
Because at first I thought you were talking about the thralls were the ones heading off the cliff, not Daniel and Elizabeth. So I was like, oh god, they're going off back to the sea, or the mermaid is like telling them to go kill themselves because she's done with them, or something awful. And then you said it's Daniel and Elizabeth, and I was like, oh god, did he agree that if they get married then he'll turn into a kelpie and they're going to dive off and become seals? What's happening here? So confused.
Love it.
I do want to know what Daniel's deal is. He's clearly not on the level.
There's still something going on with him.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I feel like no, I can't say that. That's secret stuff. Never mind.
Cool.
This has slightly shaken Constance as well, though, because we're talking about church, sacred ground. And there's sort of the argument from last session about, were you okay with a kelpie marrying a person? And there was kind of in the back, if she can enter the church, if she can enter into a holy matrimony without going up in flames, then it must all be on the level. There's a plan. This will make sense. But then, they come barreling in all these thralls. It's just, maybe it's not as safe as.
I just can't believe Punch didn't punch a thrall in the face.
I can't believe the officiator to the wedding shooting dead someone meters from the
like I said,
and it
that
wasn't
captain
Hugs.
has done this before.
Marriage
officiating mid-combat.
It's done. Marriages are always.
I want him to continue as a contact. This guy was cool. I mean, obviously he wasn't chill with it all, but this guy was cool as a cucumber when we needed him to be. Damn.
Yeah.
We need him along for more things.
I have two wrap-up questions. One of them, both of them, once we got the final toll and list of survivors and everything, is Mosling's aunt among them, and is old Lizzie among them?
No, but she wasn't on the manifest.
Right.
We didn't find she was either at the place or on the manifest. Yeah. That's okay. Good.
Or she might live somewhere else now.
Wasn't part of the problem we didn't know she was on the manifest because we didn't know what her surname was?
Yeah. I think I think basically it was like I made up the character and then rolled a failure. So I'm wrong. She's not here. Was kind of the
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah. Cool.
I love that we're getting worried about people we've never met now.
Also, it's a game.
So what I'm taking away from the session is that our dev points need to go into some sort of Victorian gymnasium, and we all need to spend some time in the gym.
I'm
Talking
totally
box.
going to do wrestling practice with
Or
you, including Gail.
We could invest in something that allows us to push recovery rolls.
Mm.
That's also good.
That's
So we have
also
at least more dice
That would be
for not becoming anemic. But I'm pretty sure that we can arrange for Mosling to be overly dramatic in a later future episode, and I'll just die, make a new character. That'll be the simplest way of doing it.
I was.
Maybe get shot in the head by a sailor captain or something.
Interrupt a
There's
wedding.
something kind of like fitting though, I think, about Mosling being like permanently anemic and the kind of like general like frailty
I punched a
and
guy.
like paleness of
And
the
it worked.
yeah.
I do find it funny that like the way like it doesn't affect like your like you like I've now got really good agility. I've got like 7 agility now or something, or 6 agility, and
I
like
thought the maximum was 5 points for.
well no, but combined.
I mean
with my
combined
physics
score, sure, yeah.
yeah. And I can put I can put as many points as I want to into close combat, and it's just the force rolls that hold me back. So it is a bit.
You could get good at
wrestling.
wrestling.
Funny. I could get good at wrestling. I like punching people. This is a skill I'll practice.
Love it.
Cool.
I'm keen
Well,
for the Luchador Hux spin-off. That's
Yes.
what I'm after.
Please join us on Wednesday for our roundtable chat. Please vote on the Google form, which is still in the chat. Come join us on Discord. And thanks for tuning in to this. It's been lots of fun. We will come back to it in the future. But in the new year, we'll be going back to Warhammer, which Sam is running. I remember to point the right way immediately there. My brain did but it went like 5 different ways. I was like, okay, so right is left. So that's that way. But then I need to use my other hand. And it was a whole thing. And I could have seemed really cool, but now anyway.
Flawless.
Roundtable on Wednesday, back in the new year on Mondays with Warhammer, Wednesdays with Simbaroom. Every other Thursday will be the Big Wet and or Wicked Ones. And at some point, there will be one-shot adventures on a weekend. If you join us on Discord, you get all of that information updated as we know it. And I hope everybody has a lovely festive period. And thanks for tuning in. See you later.